We decided to get out of town this Christmas break and spend 2 weeks in Italy. After a few days skiing and stops in Venice and Rome, we've arrived in Tuscany. We rolled into Firenze Santa Novella station on Wednesday around noon, just in time for lunch but too early to check in. So we dropped our bags off at the hotel and ducked into Ristorante Toto for lunch next door. We weren't super hungry, so we had a delicious but light lunch of soups and antipasto with a pizza for Russell. By the time we finished, our room at the perfectly located Hotel Torre Guelfo was ready for us. The ladies needed some time to relax, so Russell and I headed out to explore Florence. We walked through the Piazza della Signora and got some delicious gelato at Perché No. Then we walked past the Duomo, closed because of New Year's Day, and then on to Santa Croce, which was open and was free for the day. So we walked into the massive, beautiful cathedral to see the graves of Dante, Michelangelo, and Galileo, among others. From there, we made our way back along the Arno to Ponte Vecchio and back in time for a 4 p.m. climb to the top of Torre di Arnolfo in Palazzo Vecchio. The climb to the top was not too tough, and the views from the top were wonderful. After descending the stairs, we made our way back to the hotel. The kids wanted an evening in, so we brought them some pizza, and Patty and I had a lovely dinner on the Piazza della Signora at the restaurant where the Negroni was allegedly invented. The meat and pasta were absolutely perfect, probably the best meal we've had in Italy so far. When we got back after dinner, the kids were getting their second wind, so we walked out for gelato to conclude the day. Thursday was an early morning. We grabbed a quick hotel breakfast on our way out the door to catch the Best of Tuscany tour with walkabout tours. Normally, we'd run from big bus tours like this, but this tour really is one of the only ways to see a lot of Tuscany in a little bit of time. Our first stop of the tour was the town of Siena. I love the stereotypical medieval city of brick. We had a walking tour of the town, walking past the oldest operating bank in the world, the beautiful Piazza del Campo, and ending up in the cathedral. The Siena Cathedral is one of the most beautiful churches on earth, with black and white marble on the outside and a kaleidoscope of mosaics, frescoes, and sculptures on the inside. The mosaic floor alone took 200 years to complete, and there are works by 3/4 of the Ninja Turtles all lined up in a row. One of my favorite parts is the busts of all the popes from St. Peter through the 19th century along the ceiling. After we left the cathedral, it started to pour, so we ducked into a cafe for a quick coffee to wait out the worst of it. And from Siena, we headed to San Gimignano, eating a lovely meal of pasta and pork and, of course, wine at a farm overlooking the town. Stuffed and happy, we moved on to the old town of San Gimignano, which looks like the perfect movie set of a medieval town. The town is famous for having one of the best gelaterias in the world, so we found a little room for ice cream too. We had to hurry with the ice cream though, because we wanted to climb the Torre Grossa, the tallest tower in town. The last stop for our day was in the town of Pisa, a town so old that the Romans called it the ancient city. Despite the rain and impending darkness, we had time to go through the beautiful cathedral and to climb up the Leaning Tower. I had no idea that the tower was so old. It was commissioned in 1174 and took 200 years to build. The building is entirely Carrara marble right down to the steps and sits on marshy coastal soil, so no wonder it leans. By the time the bus got us back home, it was 7:30 and we were beat. Nonetheless, it was Nika's birthday and she wanted a steak. We walked over to Ristorante Toto for one of the best steaks we've ever had, hand-chopped and cooked on a wood fire while we watched. A delicious end to the day. Friday was our last full day in Florence and our only chance to see the major sights of town. We woke up early yet again to catch the 8:15 climb up to the top of Bernini's Duomo. After more than 400 steps, we made it to the top and enjoyed beautiful views out over all of Florence. As the platform started to get crowded, we headed back down the stairs and out of the cathedral. Nika and I decided to get a quick pastry and coffee as a reward for all those steps before heading back to the hotel. Once everyone was ready, we headed out into the rain to go visit the Galleria dell'Accademia, home of the David statue. It was absolutely chaos outside the museum with people everywhere. I can only imagine the insanity on a busy day. We eventually made it inside and made a beeline for the David. We also explored some of the other sculpture galleries before heading out for lunch. After lunch, we all took a quick nap, and then Patty and I did a little wine tasting and window shopping. From there, we jumped back into the fray with another chaotic mass of people entering the Uffizi Gallery. I thought that late in the afternoon it would be quieter, but I guess not. We really enjoyed some of the early Renaissance pieces in the collection and the paintings by Botticelli. Art fatigue started to set in, and it was soon time for us to find some dinner. For our last night in town, we wanted one more steak, so we headed to La Bistecca Osteria, and it didn't let us down. After stuffing ourselves on yet another delicious meal, we made our way back to the hotel. We did stop by the roof deck to enjoy some nighttime views of the city to end the day. And now we've arrived at Saturday. We have a few hours left to walk around, but then we have a train to catch, north to Milan and a flight home. It's no surprise that Tuscany has been a delightful stop on our tour. The old towns with their charming stone streets, their Renaissance art, and their delicious meals are always a pleasure to visit. Much of Italy feels like a change since our last visit, but Tuscany feels about the same. We have eaten so much good food in our time here. Russell remarked that we eat this type of food all the time, but in Florence he's had some of the best steak and pasta and ice cream of his life. It does feel like Florence is struggling a little under the weight of tourism. The holidays were a festive and fun time to see the crowds. I'd hate to see them in the heat of summer. We all agreed that next time we wouldn't mind seeing more of Florence, but we really want to see more of the Tuscan countryside. And on that note, we have a train to catch. Ciao and grazie, Florence. Until next time.
Oh, do it again.